Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Game Bytes Show. I am your host, Jared Red-Eye Dunn, joined by Jeremy Law. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen,
No, it's me. I wasn't
to
sure.
the Game Bytes Show.
Lost.
I am your host, Jared Red-Eye Dunn, joined... And then you heard me again, because I forgot to close my browser window. So that's how professional we are, as always. And, you know, we know you're happy to have this completely professional video stream in your life.
We like to get the screw-ups up, get them out right out of the gate.
Why not? You know what?
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to do this, let's just blow it right away. And
For sure.
You go big or go home is what we say around here. And, you know, we record from home, so...
The studio, as we call it.
The studio, right? Live on location. That kind of froze me in time. I'm not sure where to go after that. We are playing Total War 3 Kingdoms tonight, which I was actually noticing like 2 nights ago. I was looking at my Steam list, and it annoyingly has this out now on this like little picture on Steam. I'm like, why does that say out now? Like, of course it's out. I don't know.
It ruins your collection.
It does. It's really terrible. So Total War 3 Kingdoms is set in the Three Kingdoms era of ancient China. Ancient China? Medieval China?
Pretty ancient. It's the. Did you know that the 3 dynasties, the 3 kingdoms, are the Wei, the Wu, and the Shu? Did you know that?
No, I did not. But there is a guy in here named like Lu Bu. So
Boo Boo Wu.
Lu. Yes, something like that. This game's actually really cool. So we're going to pull it up. It is the latest in the Total War franchise. The previous installments, of course, being Total War Saga Britannia, or Thrones of Britannia, or something nonsense like that. It's a big, long name. And then, of course, the Total War Warhammer games that were out. And what I really like about, you know, this game's really worth talking about, I think, in a lot of ways while it loads up here is... Sega, you know, Creative Assembly, owned by Sega, has done something kind of interesting with the Total War series over the last few years. You know, I own literally every Total War game. I've played them all from the original Shogun to this one.
Yep.
And in the last few games... It kind of started with Total War Warhammer, I feel like. But they keep kind of learning from the previous games, or kind of taking the best of the previous games and kind of mixing them together. I'm not actually going to watch that because I'm trying to talk. So this game really, in my opinion, mixes the best of the Total War Warhammer games, and I'm just going to stop saying Total War. The Warhammer series and the latest Thrones of Britannia, Total War Saga, Thrones of Britannia, whatever, something like that. We should look this kind of stuff up before we start talking. But
no idea what's going on.
And I really like it. So the campaign feels a lot more dynamic and like kind of challenging even as you go on in the later games. And the battles are interesting in that you have hero units, kind of, and you can actually disable those if you want. So if you're like, no, I want a pure historical Total War experience, I'm going to turn this volume down because it's quite loud in my ears. And we'll go back, and we're going to start a new campaign because I kind of want to walk through kind of some of the cool stuff they've done. So there is some DLC out here, you know, with the Yellow Turban Rebellion, and there's like sort of, I mean, these are all very different factions, but within that they have sort of different categories that they're kind of hemmed into. So you've got, you know, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna apologize in advance. I will mispronounce
This is very
all
insensitive
of these names, and I am sorry. If you want to leave comments on like correct pronunciation, that would actually be really cool. Cow? Coco? Cow.
Cow.
Lu Bu?
Yeah.
Sun Jin?
Okay.
Kong Sun Zan?
All right.
Yan Xiao?
Okay.
Yan Shu. Sorry.
You know, they get them mixed up at parties.
Yes, they're actually twins. No, they're not. And then you have governors, which I don't know if you're paying attention. It does the sort of it's giving you kind of what these guys are. So, Tiger of Zhengdong or the Iron Fist General kind of gives you an idea of how difficult the campaign is to start as these guys. There's these governors who are sort of less tactical, more strategic, I guess. And then there's these outlaws. I have not played enough campaigns to be able to strictly tell you the difference. And then there's the Yellow Turban. These are the rebels, but I don't own this DLC, so sorry. You're not going to get the first or the most complete experience. This guy has a really fantastic headpiece.
Here's the funny thing about this. So I was interested in this because the Three Kingdoms of China is a little bit like the Sengoku Jidai period of Japan. It's like the cool time that everyone always sets their games in. And these characters, Lord Cao Cao and Lu Bu and those kinds of things, they show up in stuff like the Dynasty Warriors and all the Three Kingdoms games going all the way back to the NES, stuff like that. And they always have them dressed up like real weird too.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I
like this.
I like to imagine that this is actually what history was like. And so I'm really glad that a game series like Total War is going in on this. I mean, we still have, like a cool headpiece. I don't know. I just like how it's really over the top in every incarnation.
So who do we want to go here as? Yan Shao? Kong Sun San? The Iron Fist?
You're going to not blatantly mispronounce every time.
Lu Bu.
Lu Bu.
Lu Bu it is.
Lu Bu.
Okay.
Be watchful for fate's gifts.
Liu Bei sees chaos in
Liu Bei. I even got that one wrong.
and will not rest until the tyrant's corruption is uprooted and the Han dynasty restored.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that intro. So here's the map. It's quite large, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Unity is... So factions have a lot of uniqueness to them, and you can actually flip through them and kind of get a,
Humility keeps me honest.
you kind of read through them without having to go like back and forth all the time. But he gets Liu Bei. We can learn around here. Excels at inspiring friendly troops, but weaker in melee. So he gets +4 public order and minus 50% upkeep for militia infantry. I believe that's in his army, but that's pretty cool. He has a special resource called Unity. Cohesion and unity are the seeds from which a new dynasty will grow. A new age of hope will not be built on the fragile foundation of a divided realm. So it increases our prestige, is required to achieve higher faction ranks, which unlock new features and bonuses to your faction. Unlocks administrator positions and increases income. This is kind of, some of these features kind of gate you in the early game from, becoming too powerful too quickly.
Right.
Unity increases if generals are satisfied. Satisfaction can be managed with unique assignments, and his playstyle focus is companionship. So you want lots of generals and that kind of thing. The other thing I really like about this game is, and the Britannia did this as well, is it kind of simplified the cards a little bit. So it really embraces the sort of the rock paper scissors of like cavalry and infantry and archery, but there's two different types of infantry. So you have spears and swords are good against infantry, and spears are good against cavalry. Anyway,
right.
And what
but
they
then
do
there's even a more complicated matrix too, because then you've got your cover and you've got your terrain advantages.
Right. So one thing they do really nice is they've kind of shadowed out the unit, and what's in bold is what type of unit he is. So you can see these guys are both archers. They're different types of archers, but they're still archers. So one might be better than the other. It has fewer units, but it does more damage or has long range or whatever. There's better melee, but at the end of the day, they still fit in the archetype of archers. So that's what you see in their thing. We start with a tax collection, government building. Peasantry income is increased, but public order is decreased, but we also get a +4 public order, so that probably is a wash. Confederation is a diplomatic option, so you can't necessarily confederate in all factions, which is kind of cool. and Integrate is a settlement action. Annexes and integrates Han Empire settlements. And noteworthy characters is Gan Yu, the God of War. General types is a champion. And then Zhang Fei, Drunken Brawler, is a fan card. And we get some talk down here. Oh, okay. This is what I was saying. This is a romance, so this has the like superhero units, or you can do Records of the Three Kingdoms, which kind of gets rid of those. So
Right.
this goes to your more classical
Yeah.
Total War experience. This is kind of the new hotness. Oops, I accidentally double clicked, but here we go.
Stark against the night.
Chosen,
Tyrant
selected.
Dong Zhuo wields the flames of
We'll listen to this.
Luo Yang burns. Chaos ignites as the power of the eunuchs is crushed. In the pyre, the Han falters. Yet the light of the dynasty still simmers in the hearts of its last descendants. Liu Bei swore an oath with his brothers. They pledged their lives. They will defend.
Has some
the
cool
heart.
animations.
Okay, I was going to say this afterwards. The art style in the game is really good.
China is in turmoil. The great empire of the Han.
The art they use on the splat on like the loading screens.
Right. It's all like a painting.
When you
like
go when you go into diplomacy, we'll see that here in a little bit. There's like some cool things going on. It's
Began raising
really
their
good.
banners in rebellion.
and it's kind of different for a Total War game. You know, it's kind of stylized. Where again, Britannia, going back to that one, was stylized in sort of that ancient Dark Ages era medieval Europe kind of way, where it's like wood carvings and stuff like that, and this has
Right.
like the oil paintings and
The
stuff like that.
chaos
So
only grew.
I really like it. I really like that it's kind of unique to the
The loyal general stormed
area
the
they're trying
imperial
to-
palace
Right,
and
right.
killed the 10 eunuchs, the source of China's ills. In the madness, the warlord Dong Zhuo.
So overall,
seized
I guess while we're
the
waiting for
great
it,
warrior Lü Bu at his
tell me, is
side.
there any
None
difference to the
dared
balance
oppose
between the
him.
strategic and the tactical? I mean, is it still the same management that you're doing in all the other Total War games?
it has a similar flow, but what I really like on the strategic layer
To Dong
is,
Zhuo's brazen display,
you know, one of the things that's always been
a coalition
kind of a
of
letdown in the
warlords
single
rose
player
up,
campaign
led by the
of Total
charismatic
War
Yuan
is there kind of comes a threshold, and this happens in a lot of strategy games, so I try not to fault it too much. There comes kind of this threshold that you cross where you're no longer actually like struggling to win. You're just kind of going through the motions at that point. You get these giant armies, you've researched all this technology, you're basically just walking over, you know, different countries, you know, zone by
Right,
zone.
it's just a matter of time.
It's like a formality, right? And you could start auto-resolving. You know, when you do fight it, it's so lopsided. They've got like basic peasant infantry, and you've got like these like medieval knights with their shining armor or whatever. This game tries to counter that in a kind of a unique way, and it tries to do it with its diplomacy. So, as you get stronger as a faction, you actually kind of upgrade through tiers of like strength. Like you become a province. I'm just gonna make these up because I don't remember them. Like a province, and then like a nation, and then a coalition, and then a kingdom, and then a empire. And as you get stronger, you accumulate a penalty for diplomacy. So more and more factions will start to look at you in sort of distaste. Like you're getting too powerful, and they don't like that.
On the other hand, maybe is it, so that's one thing that always bothered me about these kinds of games is that the diplomacy system is typically not very elegant. Where, you know, it's usually like if some condition, then this guy hates me no matter what. But it also seems like you could flex on some of those guys. Like once you're an empire, you know,
Yeah.
they might just want to stay on your good side. Maybe. I mean, is there any of that?
So as I was playing on my previous campaign, as I got stronger, some factions would start to kind of splinter off. Like they couldn't take it anymore. You're getting too powerful. I don't want to be with that. And they go and they kind of group up with other factions. Some of them kind of stay your allies, and you know, like this this faction can do like coalitions, so you can like integrate those into your into kind of your realm. Establish your power. Lord Liu Bei Dong Zhao has seized the emperor and now wields imperial power to his own tyrannical ends. The Han Dynasty must be saved, even if you must take their lands back by force. First, we must defeat the nearby Yellow Turban insurgents. Then find a place to build our strength nearby Tao Quinn, Kane, Kaun, and Kong Rong are Han loyalists who may offer us aid. The time to act, my lord, is now. So we have kind of a quest here. So make your way past the Yellow Turbans, find a power base to build up your strength to protect Kong Rong and Tao Quinn. Okay, so let's close that. Mission issued. So missions are back, just kind of like how they are. Is like conquer 3 provinces, defeat so and so, those kind of things.
I'm not sure what games started that, but I think some of the Endless games, at least they started introducing more narrative style versions of that stuff. Yeah. So this has it. Just a lot of the Total War games have had it before. I like them. Sometimes you're like, well, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm trying to go a different way. I'm trying to ally with that guy, not attack him, that kind of thing. So, it hangs in the balance. So, engage the following general's army in battle. Zhao Bo, and the reward is 3 turns of the Taste of Victory, plus 30 military supplies. So, your military does have supply. That comes from, I think the first game I remember that in a Total War was Napoleon Total War. And plus 5 morale faction wide. So let's close that. Here's Liu Bei. Okay, so here's the new sort of army character cards. You can see what I was saying about it kind of highlights what these people are. So, you've got your archers. This is spears. You can see he's holding a spear. This is a sword and shield infantry, so that's important. Here's cavalry, so you see the horse's head and a sword and shield, so he's saber cavalry, not like a lance, like a impact cavalry. So these are your different generals. So these guys, help you build up your army, and these are actually the champions I was talking about. So not only do they level up and they gain their own traits, this is pretty typical Total War stuff. You can use them to engage in like duels in the tactical map. So arrows on the wind, my lord, we fly wherever you command. Yeah, whatever, I don't care. And so Liu Bei is actually one of our generals. So he's not as strong in melee, it was saying, but he's good at unifying. Ancillaries gained, so these guys are back. You can assign them to generals. Establish your power. We've read that. Mission issued. So I'm guessing this is Zhao Bo. This is who we need to kill. So let's go do it. What's kind of cool about this is these pins. So these are things that can kind of highlight things that kind of are happening in the game. This is new. So you can pop this open. You can create custom ones, but if you're forgetting, like, oh, where is this, like, emperor I'm supposed to take over, you double click it and it can kind of whip you there, or you can see them on the map. So you can zoom out, big map, again, lots to do here, but we can see here. So, like, coalition, Yan Shao's coalition has faltered. Who will unite the people now? So there's like sort of an objective we can do. Stuff like that. So let's get the pins out of here. It's like one of these, if I recall. Yep, get that out of here. We've got armies. Now, is everything in the strategic map in the Fog of War like that, where you can't tell? Because it seems like many of these games will act. You'll sort of know the lay of the.
So you can see the provinces, but I haven't explored it yet. So I don't know like who owns it. I know, like, generally, that's grassland, or this is mountains, like the terrain, but I don't know sort of the details. Right now, I guess this starts you without any province, so we're actually a roaming army. So obviously, all we have is the line of sight around our general. So let's go engage here, because it really wants us to fight.
China, not Rome.
We're a Roman army. So here's the new battle screen. It has similar information, but it's a little bit different. So you've got your attacker, your defender, tells you how many units you have. You can see down here the type of units. So as you start to learn, these are all peasants. My guys are not necessarily all peasants, so that's good. Some of them are militia, though. With your superior forces, your advisors predict a decisive victory. So you can delegate. So basically, this is the auto resolve. You can save. I actually like this because it's like, oh, I don't actually want to play that right now. I want to go to bed. So it's predicting high casualties, low casualties. You can go to the map view, see what it's like, but we're gonna fight this one out. So let's go.
The people suffer under callous warlords and
Oh,
brutal tyrants.
the speeches are back.
I weep for China.
Oh.
But only we can provide the salve that the
So
people
Total War
seek.
games used to have, like, when you would go to the tactical map, the general would, like, give this, like, rouse the troops speech. They were really bad, but they were really good in the same moment. And they kind of do a little spiel sometimes at the beginning of these, I think. So it's like, speech. My computer is about to take off over here, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, what do you think of this as far as, like, the resource footprint, the technology? I mean, have they been continuing to really try and push the envelope with it?
Yeah, the art direction is nice. I like it as a change of pace. I like some of the changes they made. They are still relying on sort of the same underlying technology, so load times are egregious. Graphically, it looks pretty. It looks really nice. I have a fairly, still, I'd say, middle to high-end system, so it runs nice, it looks nice.
Just the loading.
Loading is pretty bad. But yeah, like, so this looks pretty good. The mountains look great. Lovely skyboxes. I mean, just lovely skyboxes.
Yeah, sure.
You can still get, like, right down on your units. So there are some things that I really like. They have changed the flag. These games have always had sort of flags that show you what unit is which. These guys that carry the flags in this game are actually carrying flags. When this guy engages in combat, he will actually plant the flag in the ground and like pull out a weapon and start fighting.
Oh,
It
I thought
is
he
just
hit people with the
super
flag.
silly, but really good. So we're just gonna sit in the shade of this tree, and no, I'm kidding. So typical stuff here. So we want to kind of group everything up according to my super master strategy. I'm gonna put my cavalry over here. Do I have more? I don't think so. I want my archers, and even though they're in different, like, under different generals, it doesn't mean you can't kind of group them up. So I'm gonna do these guys here. Let's say they're 1. I'm gonna pop them out. I'm gonna do all my spears. This should be a pretty easy battle, so we're not gonna worry too much. And I've got these guys here. I'm actually gonna do these fellas on the flank. We'll do these guys as 4 because that's how I roll. No, excuse me. And put the generals over here. So the generals are extremely powerful champions. Very well modeled, just like in the loading screen. You can change their weapons, and the weapons change in their hands. Pretty cool stuff. So here's the duel option. We'll see if we can't get these guys to duel. That would be pretty cool. You can also do, I don't know if I have any guard mode, group formations. Yeah, I don't really have. The units do get, like, shield wall and that kind of stuff. I don't.
Right.
It does not. I do not appear to have any of those. So.
Sometimes it depends on how many people you've got selected, too.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn off skirmish mode. We're going to start the battle, and we're going to get at it here. So let's do it this way. Let's push them up. Pretty standard stuff. So we could take one of our dudes. He's a Vanguard. Melee power. So our strongest is this guy. So we could see if they'll accept a duel. Yes.
Oh, you actually do? Okay, so I was figuring when you were talking about duels that it was like a story option or something.
No. So Zhao Bo wants to duel
on the field of battle, then
Liu
what
Bei.
happens?
So we're going to do it. And Liu Bei, these guys are going to run up.
All their talents to win a duel, as the results can
Excuse
sway
me,
the
I
battle
need-
in favor of the victor.
So we gotta
Weird duel.
focus a little bit on. Oh, so here the duel will like physically take place. Like they ran up, they jumped off their horses, and now they're going at it. The other opposing units will they will avoid them, so you don't have to worry about like, oh my guy's gonna get run down. No. You won't.
Right. Huh.
All right. I am not paying too much attention. It is detrimental. So get in here. Let's get some of my archers to fight those guys. You can reach them. Cavalry. Let's run them down, boys. This should go quite well. Of course they're running. I'm running them down with my cavalry. It's going great. So we're winning this duel pretty handily. You can see the red is his health. The green is ours. The animations are great on this, by the way. We can watch it.
So it looks like you're going to rout the enemy before this resolves. But what happens after the duel? Does it like demoralize?
It
the enemy,
does.
or do you-
So it will significantly demoralize the enemy. Go away. Oh, look at those moves. Alright, so he's won. Now you get this great, kill animation.
Whoa.
Oh, his entire... I see. So he broke. His entire faction has fled. So there they go.
Except for the ones that you killed.
Right. Comeback cavalry. Let's charge these guys. So here you can see Liu Bei is no shrinking violet. He's going to go in and cause some absolute just destruction. Oh, that guy's dead.
Everybody seems like they're just kind of milling around.
I mean, that kind of happens. You get the typical... Oh, we killed his general. Oops. Alright,
Is that
so...
not supposed to happen?
No, it's absolutely supposed to happen. Get that
okay.
garbage man out of here. Alright, so, done. Battle's over.
Okay.
Now we're just killing the people trying to retreat unmercifully, you know. The arrows sticking in their backs. Like, literally sticking in their backs. Oh, man. Oh, did these guys have, they have, garden hose and shovels. Shovel Knight. Okay, so let's claim victory. You can do a rematch, which I really like. Obviously, we're not going to do that.
So if you didn't win as good as you wanted to, you can win even better.
You know, if you're just like, oh, man, that was a close battle. I felt like I could have won it. You know, I guess you can do a rematch. So here you can see kill report. I don't know where these guys were. I must have sent them off somewhere random. But my archers absolutely, cavalry just mopped the floor. Lots of units left. Shows you who's left. Of course, these guys have very few left. They did get some kills, though. I have 2,000 something left. He's got 139 dudes. So he's going to be dead.
Righteousness guides our arms.
We gained some coin. Typical post-battle stuff. We can ransom release, seize supplies, do replenishment.
So then, what does the strategic component to this look like? Is now a good time to start cultivating your cities?
Yeah, so we're gonna go. I'm guessing go get a city. Okay, so we finished that. Great. Get out of here. Capture the following settlements. Dong Iron Mine was my nickname in college. So let's go over to Dong Iron Mine.
Strike hard.
And an iron mine, the miner settlements in this game are all like a tea house, an iron mine, a farm, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we can try to starve these guys out. They've got barricades. It'll take them 5 turns to surrender. That sounds incredibly boring. They have mostly the same units. We'll just delegate this out and auto-resolve.
Truth has won.
Decisive victory. I lost 170 units. He was completely destroyed, so we're going to occupy.
Will prosper for the better under my rule.
Okay. Establishing order. With this settlement's liberation, the people here are freed from oppression, and now they get to have our oppression.
Yeah.
It's a small start, but significant. All of China must now have the same freedom. Ranking station, though tireless, everyone in the will grow stronger, of course. Recruit and maintain a total of 17 at the start of a new turn. Current total 15. So they want us to get more
That's not too
units. So let's take a look here. Here's the settlement. So we don't own this settlement. This is owned by someone else. This one, I guess we haven't seen yet, but it's owned by Hung Shao. And here is our iron pits. So it's indicating that we can upgrade it. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oh man, we got a lot of stuff going on over here. Let's just close all this nonsense out. So now we're here. Now you're in the campaign map. We own a settlement. We need to go get more settlements. So here's the other part of the settlement, this small city. Dong, I guess. Part of this province, if you will. And just like in the other Total War games, if you get all the settlements in a province, you get bonuses, stuff like that. So you can manage taxes, things like that. Pretty typical Total War stuff at this point. Did Liu Bei? He did level up. So here we go. Let's go level him up. We've got a skill point. So we can get Dignity, +8 Instinct, enables Disciplined on your own retinue, and +5 faction support. Okay. Intensity, charge speed. We're going to get the support, so let's apply that. Got it. So here you can kind of change out your weapons.
Am I wrong with your artifacts that you can also get for your guys?
Yeah, so there's different things that you can equip. So like, here's his weapons. So he has these
Bogus nunchucks.
what are these called? Shangu Jin? I have no idea. Or you can do the dual Jin, or the Jin, I don't know, or an axe, or the ceremonial sword. And you can kind of see the different bonuses. Obviously, Liu Bei starts with the very high quality item, so we're not gonna swap that out. But there's different things, and you'll collect this as you play the game. Here's armor, a horse, so you can do different types of mounts like horses and stuff. Followers, so just like in the other game, you can have sort of these like people in your retinue that don't show up in the game anywhere other than the bonuses they provide. So this guy gives expertise, resolve, and increases rate of wall and settlement damage during sieges. This guy gives +10% trade influence, and this guy is instinct and satisfaction. So I'm an engineer, so we'll go with the engineer. Accessories, we can equip this Jade Rooster. Why not? Great. And the other, I don't know. And the other generals level up as well. So obviously he didn't in this case.
But he could.
But he
You
could.
really wanted
They
to.
also gain relation with each other. So his generals sort of fight and based on their personality traits, you can see here, and their different skills, they'll gain relations or lose relation with each other. Of course, they can all have armor. We discussed that. Let's give this guy a guard, and we can't use that because it's already in use. And then we'll go ahead and give this guy the merchant, I guess, whatever. There's a lot you can do there to sort of game the system and
Right.
get more and more powerful. Let's see, what else can we do? Court. So this comes back from previous Total War games. As we rank up and get more powerful, we can assign, a new faction heir, a new prime minister, chancellors, etc. We've got these generals, 2 of which are in our army currently. You can see that with the little helmet. We have no candidates. You can see our family tree. So here's Liu Bei. He has no kids.
Oh, that's interesting. What's the purpose of that? Is that like do you get traits or something? So do
Yeah.
your generals die off? Or?
Yeah, they do. So as you play the game, you'll want to, and this is from Britannia as well, you'll want a faction heir, and you'll want to try to get him to of age so he can take over the faction if Liu Bei dies. So you do want to be careful with Liu Bei. You don't want to just run him out there and get him murdered.
Right.
That's not great. So here's sort of all the characters that are in the game, and relations and stuff. And there's a ton of info in here, but like ages and expertise and resolve, and you can just kind of go through them all. So let's close that. And I want to point out, as we look at these, like these menus, the way they've done them are kind of different, and they're just really nicely done. So diplomacy is quite a bit different, and they have some neat new features that I really like. The first is this quick deal. So before, diplomacy, if you played a lot of Total War, involved like click on each faction, see what you can do. I liken it a little bit to like the 2D adventure games where you're just like clicking on everything on the screen to see if it does anything. But this kind of gives you an idea up front. So like Dong Zhao, we're at war with them. Here's our attitude. We're not going to get anything here, but here's some quick deals we might be able to just go do. So like if we want to sign a non-aggression pact with someone, we click this, and it gives an idea of who can we go sign a non-aggression pact with. So let's pick him. Let's negotiate the deal. Looks like they're good, so we're just going to straight up sign a non-aggression pact. Done. Further, if we want a trade agreement, we might talk to this guy, negotiate it. Oh, he's good with it, so we'll sign a trade agreement. Military access? Really?
That seems risky.
Anyway, so you can keep going through these. Can I? Okay, so he won't do this. So you see, we're not, high enough in relation. So you want to try to boost your relation to be able to do these. You want to do it the old way, you can do it the old way. You can just go through the factions start negotiating with them, go through all of these options that you now have. So you can aid rebellions and trade stuff and assign vassals and do alliances. You can do, domestic like non-aggression pacts. War coordinate, all that kind of comes across.
Do you find that you do better personally? Do you mess with those?
Yeah, you really do want to focus on sort of expanding your coalition because, those guys will turn on you sort of eventually in a lot of ways as you get more powerful, and you want to foster those good relationships to kind of stem that. You don't want, if everyone turns on you at once, you're gonna have some trouble. Reforms are sort of essentially what has taken the place of research, which I actually really like, because they come in ways that the research in games is always so weird. They're like, we're going to research the Iron Sword, and it's like
paper.
8 years later you have an Iron Sword.
Right.
No.
Timing in these always bothers me.
Yeah. So
in Civilization it starts out in every turn is 50 years, and I'm like, I guess we're moving pretty slow.
So the reforms are just, they're essentially the same. As you go down, it's literally a tree. I mean, literally a tree. So as you go down this, this is the infrastructure and economy branch, and this is the agricultural reforms, and this is the government reforms and military doctrine. So, but what I like about it is it just fits, right? So it's like private tutors, and that gives you some bonuses, or this one is currency-based economy. Like, it just kind of, I don't know, I like it. I like the way they did this. I don't get another reform until 3 turns, so not much to do there. Okay, I don't have spies, so they've kind of streamlined that a little bit, so I can't do espionage. Records, this is you can read through, like, kind of turn by turn what's going on. Treasury, I mean, nothing real shocking here. You
Does
can-
it let you set yourself back turns, or are you pretty well stuck?
No, I don't think it lets you undo a turn. Not that I have seen. So we can look at the missions, characters. These are all like little pop-ups instead of like up here are like new screens. These are like little things you can pop up to kind of keep an eye on. So I really appreciate some of these. They're pretty good at just kind of giving you a little bit of guidance without having to like constantly be in and out of screen.
Right.
So we'll end our turn. And we're not going to play too deep into this because I think we've kind of scratched the surface already and given everyone a taste. If you've played a Total War
if you've seen
game,
the strategic and you've seen the tactical,
I think you have an idea of what's going on. But yeah, in turn, and now you go on. So, do we want to go capture Dong? Probably. I don't know what kind of army he has. We don't have any intel there. We can go in here and we're in the normal stance. We can recruit some guys though. We actually had a mission to do so. So let's do that.
So you can recruit more heroes, or is it just like rank and file
I
dudes?
think armies are limited to 3, but so we're gonna just stick with these. And another thing that came across from the Britannia games is when you recruit units, they don't start at full strength. So that was a really cool change I liked in the previous Britannia game.
Right, like-
was you recruit a unit, it's like at 25 strength, and then it gains over time. So the idea behind that is it takes time to muster an army, right? Like you can't just
Yeah.
pop out 500
Pop
units
with-
the next month.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. It's kind of cool. I do wish, and maybe there are, and I just haven't gotten to it, that there were ways to press, if you're recruiting peasants, you could press them into service and pop out units
Right.
instantly. But it diminishes your economy somehow or something, things like that. But
Right. I mean, it seems like as the series progresses, they do. I guess they have to strike a balance between realism and, fun. I guess.
I agree.
You're not waiting
I
around
do,
for your warriors to be trained up from the cradle.
Right, yeah.
Let us discuss
You're having to matchmake every soldier's parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, you don't have to do that. So there's a new faction capital, character developments, China's vastness matched only by many exemplars, blah, 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 blah. So we'll end a turn again. You can see there's actually different options you can do now. This is pretty good. This is all stuff that was there before, but I like the way they present it as options. Okay, so seasons do exist. So you take penalties for being not in a settlement in the winter. Certain things you can only do or are best done during the summer, stuff like that. So so mission success. We got a new mission. Hold 3 settlements, including the following: Langye, a small city. It wants us to come down here. Okay, so sure, let's go capture this. This is a city, and we'll kind of show off a
Siege.
sure.
I think these missions are leading you down a path of iniquity. I don't.
They kind of do,
trust them.
and sometimes this is what I was kind of talking about, I don't want to go capture that city. I want to capture this city because then I get to a little closer to a province. But whatever. And you're free to ignore these missions. They're not so valuable that if you don't do the mission, you're doomed forever. Whatever. All right, so declaw the tiger. So we have a mission to kill a dude. That seems kind of extreme, but all right. So now we're attacking. We're in their sphere of influence.
And several
We have
strategies available.
barely superior forces. It is reflecting that it thinks we would be defeated, but we need to set up some siege. So we're going to get a ram. We can try sapping it, I guess. I don't know that we need.
I think that's really the advantage of having a system or having a game where you can choose to auto-resolve or not. Because sometimes you can pull off some real good victories too, where you like normally otherwise wouldn't have been able to.
Okay, so I'm annexing, and that was unique to this faction. I've actually never done this, so I guess we just did it. We now own this small city, so too bad for those guys. Can we now just straight up attack these guys? No, I don't have enough turns yet. Get me back in the city. Oh no. Here, we can do a forced march. Can I? Liu Bei, please. I insist. You must enter the city. Oh well. Okay. Well, let's stay out of that. Let's end the turn and see what happens. Ah, we got a new reform. Perfect. So we get to unlock one of these. Let's do whatever military. We'll get 1 in 5 more turns.
Restore harmony. For justice.
All right. No, why did you go way over there? I accidentally clicked on the mini-map, and now I'm lost forever. Okay.
Oh, now yep.
Alright,
Many
so let's
days
do
journey
this.
through China.
Let's see if he attacks.
We would be no threat to you.
Non-aggression pact, so here you can see, NPCs. This is pretty typical. Can I... Yeah, so you can actually kind of go around and see, like, oh, where are these guys, kind of thing.
Right.
So they're down here. Sure, we'll accept it. Deal signed. Wonderful.
In strategic mode, is it mostly moving on the roads? I mean, do you ever have a chance to
So,
go?
yeah, I mean,
As they fight side
you
by
will kind of
side,
cut through
your
some ways, but you can see
generals
there's
are
quite a
different
few
as
roads
friends
here,
or
so
rivals,
it's not really
affecting
too
their
much of an issue.
satisfaction in
But
your
yeah, moving
service.
through like
Be
trees and over
watchful
mountain,
of
like
their
that takes
relationships
longer.
and their character.
Let's fight one more battle, and then we'll probably call it a stream here.
Sure. Show us your bold tactics.
Ooh,
Show us your
bold.
loading screen.
Yes, my bold loading screen.
They call me barbaric and short-tempered and a drunk. Ha! These things may well be true, but I swore.
So, how does this rate now in your pantheon of Total War games? Is it?
So it's not my favorite timeline. Like, I don't know a lot about this era of China or anything like that. So a lot of times, like the unit types and the characters and stuff like that is kind of goes over. But in terms of the way the game plays, it is starting to hit it, again, especially in the single player campaign. I've heard complaints about multiplayer. The battles are pretty fast in multiplayer, so it's like, oh, whatever. But it is one of the funner experiences I've had. It ranks right up there with Total War Warhammer 2's Mortal Empire mode, where it takes both maps from that game and like builds up one giant campaign. And that's really cool. I really like that. So to get on that level with those all those different factions, and the special abilities and different ways to play that game is pretty great. So we're not gonna fuss with this too much, but I also don't want to just rush these guys forward and get them murdered. So we'll do a little bit of strategering. Let's get these guys stretched out. Let's get our cavalry over here. Let's get sword infantry on
Now,
this
who are
flank.
you against here? Can you see what's on the other side of the battlefield here?
Yeah, so we can move and see. They're like camped out in like a little fort, which is pretty good for them.
Burn it.
But yeah, so they have some saber cavalry, medium sword cavalry, so a little bit armor there. Saber militia, so light sword infantry. You can see the character details pretty good. They look nice. Let's see, what do you got here? More sword cavalry. What do we got here? More sword infantry, light sword, yep. And light bow, so you can see. Let's look at these archers real quick. There you go. So they got their light bows. They definitely look light. All right. Let's go ahead and start the battle. So let's move these guys up here. Let's grab these guys and move them here. Let's not forget our sword infantry this time. And cavalry can move up here. We'll wiggle you here. We forgot the other guys, so we'll just run them over here. And we'll move our heroes over here. So they're going to have towers, and that's going to hurt. So we want to try to move. We don't want to dilly-dally, so to speak.
Right.
So they've got cavalry. Let's move these guys up here. Actually gonna move my spears up. Move these spears up.
Not good enough. Shut up and die.
They're taunting each other because video games. Oh, I regret moving my cavalry up that fast, so let's move them back. That was super amateur mode. Alright, so where are you spears? Get in here.
The enemy unit flees. What cowards?
What cowards? Look at those cowards.
What do you think? You think you'll...
Yeah, this is in the bag. I mean, this is
I guess
over already.
A lot of dudes.
Here, let's zoom in and see what's going on here. Got my spears going in. Let's watch this flag guy. Does he plant his flag? Yes, there he goes with the flag. He pulls out.
I would almost like to see in a game like this, you know how there are like kind of these pseudo-historical generals and stuff like that? I would like to see this get a little bit more Warhammery, and it would be cool to see like Wushu, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon martial artists or something like that. Or, you know.
Yeah, so it doesn't go quite to that level, but these guys are gonna run in and absolutely wreck house. So let's kind of watch. So he just like speared down like 8 people.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah, the generals are just incredibly powerful. You know, we kind of just crammed into this choke point, which is not real ideal, but you know,
just milling around. It's like Comic-Con. It's like Comic-Con, and people want their con exclusive.
yeah, for sure. I mean, why wouldn't you though? Let's get our guys. Let's go this way. Run our cavalry around. We
Can you
did. We
imagine,
actually
like-
do have a unit routing here.
Like, we're running in to murder these people, but it's just too crowded, so we're gonna go in the back.
Yep. So let's get the next guys in here.
Enemy warriors are running.
They're retreating. Come over here. Come on, cavalry. You can do it. There is still the capture point, so that's great. Wavering, damage sustained. Let's withdraw that unit. I don't know if they'll make it or not. You know, it absolutely actually does not matter. Yep. So they're,
The enemy run.
of course they run. They're cowards.
Right.
So here comes our cavalry with a rear charge. This is gonna be glorious. Here we go. Oh!
Nice.
Absolutely, just decimated. That took out half their units in like one go. Hooray! That should basically be it. Is there anyone still alive? Oh, yeah. The cavalry is coming back for more. Look at these guys like crawling back. Oh no! Okay.
The men have no ammunition. Draw your weapons.
Who's left? Oh, there's a bad guy here. Oh,
Hiding
kill
out.
this guy. What is he doing? Get all of the spears in here. Come on, guys. It's like you're not even trying.
Everybody just needs to
The enemy general is
line up.
Oh, he's dead.
they want no
Oh, there you go.
Ah, listen to him chant. Look how happy they are.
Yay.
Claim victory in battle. It was not that good. We did not do great. We should have done more flanking, etc. Yeah. Total War, Three Kingdoms. I feel like kind of what you'd expect, but better in some really
Yeah, with
nice ways for
Yeah.
me. That's how this game feels. So I look forward to playing more. Of course, I look forward to the next game and the next era or whatever that they do.
what do you think it'll be?
I think they're going to come more modern and for the next historical game that's not in the Warhammer series.
Are they doing more Warhammers?
Yeah, there's one more Warhammer. It's going to be a trilogy.
Oh.
They announced that back when they did the first Warhammer that there would be
Oh,
a
I see.
trilogy. So I kind of suspect something more modern, muskets, that kind of thing.
Right.
Just a hunch. I mean, there's no real basis for that. That's just kind of a hunch.
We must be
Right.
humble in
So there they go. Quite a bit of Monet. Let's do replenishment because I had a lot of losses. He runs off because we didn't kill enough of them. And then we'll go back to our city and replenish. And speaking of replenishing, we are going to take the next week to replenish for the next video stream. But you don't have to wait that long because you can head over to GameBiteShow.com and check out our twice-a-week audio podcast that we bring to you early in the week for news, new releases, and video game topics, and middle of the week where we discuss video games that we've been playing in short, succinct bites, 30 minutes or less guaranteed, or your money back. That way you can get in, get your video game fix, and get out while the getting is good and nobody suspects it was you.
Do that other stuff you were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and be like, hey, did you sit around and listen to a podcast? Like, no.
No.
I did the dishes.
Yeah.
You should do the dishes, though. If your dishes are messy, just go do
Yeah,
them. Listen to the
get 'em
podcast while you do them. Come back and watch us afterwards. Speaking of watching us afterwards, if you want to watch us after we stream on twitch.tv/GameBiteShow, our Twitch channel, you can find us at youtube.com/GameBiteShow, where we take the archives from Twitch and we export them to YouTube, and you get to watch them over and over and over and over. Great place to waste time and, feel like you're part of the community. Also, speaking of the community, check out our Discord channel, which you can find here on our Twitch page, just down below. Just scroll down. It's down there, I promise. There's a link. Click the link, and you'll be taken to Discord. Even if you don't have Discord installed, you can do it in a web browser. It's fantastic. Join the community. We are playing a Game Club game for the month of July of Dauntless. So you can play that on Xbox One, PS4, or the PC via the Epic Games Store. It's free to play.
Also very historically accurate, Dauntless.
Yes, Dauntless.
Just like Three Kingdoms.
Right. So definitely go check that out. Come join us. We'll be posting screenshots, and we had a live stream we did last Monday of Dauntless kicking off our game club for the month of July. It was conveniently July 1st or 2nd? 1st, I think?
Ish. Something like that.
Yeah, whatever. Who keeps track? It's like there's like no way there's a piece of paper that has all these dates on it. Like,
Yeah,
to tell
or
you.
the archive on YouTube probably
right.
doesn't say the date.
But go check that out. Join us. Find us on Twitter at GameBiteShow. I'm at red_I.
I am at Jeremy_Lamont. Oh, pardon me.
Ooh, burn.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, he's dying,
Jeremy
so-
_Lamont. And our podcasting compatriots are Legrand Jolly at Legrand LeGrande and Dale Jones at Count Elmdor.
That's it. That's us. And we will see you next time.
See ya.